man, I'm joined by the one and only, the 20-time champ, the 2-time world champ. You guys know the vibe. It's Patty P to go, a.k.a. Eggs. Give it up for Pat Price, ladies and gentlemen. Pat, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Tom. How are you? Another good day of matches.
Another good day, Pat. Another good day. Yeah, 100%. I think the weekend overall was pretty good, Pat. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed the games. Listen, I know the game has a lot of problems, and obviously we're gonna talk about a lot of the stuff that was going on this weekend and what some of the pro players have been bitching about. But in terms of just from a viewing experience, I mean, it was exciting to watch. A lot of fast-paced gameplay. The only thing that's really driving me nuts is just watching the same maps over and over again. That's driving me insane. I don't know about you, but they need to add in some maps.
I mean, yeah. What was the one map that's like kind of the anomaly?
Well, you saw there's only
just
two.
Bocage, Gavatu, Berlin, and then
Tuscan,
right? Oh, that's it. Those are the only. There's no like outlier map at all.
Desert Siege. You see a Desert Siege S&D
Siege.
sometime.
Desert Siege.
You know.
Yeah, that one.
I think other than that, I think that's it, right?
Yeah. Desert Siege was the outlier.
Which is crazy.
So yeah, it's just 4 maps on repeat.
Yeah, well, listen, they're gonna have to do something about that. I don't think we can do that all year long.
Yeah, because you're almost guaranteed to see like 3 the same maps in a best of 5, right? Like almost every series has in some way 3 of the same maps almost.
Yeah, pretty much. I do want to get right into it because we did have a lot of we had 3 matches today, but they were good matches. We're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna skim through the matches. Listen, guys, we've been watching the same maps all weekend long. So we're not going to go too in-depth right now, just like pinpointing every little thing. But, Pat, we kick things off with the New York Subliners going up against the Seattle Surge. I think you predicted... What did you predict?
New York was going to win.
Yeah, you said New York was going to win this one.
Yeah, but, dude, I don't know. Where was their slang power the whole series?
Well, like, Hydra was carrying hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but it was just him, though. Like, I felt like he was the only one shooting back.
I feel like this whole first map literally was all Hydra's. It was Hydra's doing. I don't know if you watched the very end of it, but the way he clutched up at the end of it was insane.
Yeah, no, he made that play. He made the play for sure. I'm just looking at the stats right now.
Yeah, take a look. What do they say over there? What's going on in the stat sheet over there,
just to get an idea, though, overall, Hydra ended about even, but Neptune, neg 20, Clay, neg 22, Crim, neg 15. So, like, yeah, their slaying power for me just disappeared. I mean, granted, they are going against a really good Seattle team who obviously is slaying really well right now, but still, I mean, you're the New York Subliners. You were coming in pretty hot coming into today. And for me, they weren't slaying like they were yesterday and the day before, so...
Yeah, I wonder what it is. I talking to a lot of pros behind the scenes, even with the practices and stuff. I heard it's just like that's how it is on a day-to-day basis. One day it's so day-to-day. Like teams are constantly. For instance, I was talking to some of the phases. I said one day they played this team, they got smoked. The next day they played the same team, they smoked them. Right? Like it just goes back and forth. It's basically just who shows up at the series or the day. You know. And you're right. They went up against the Seattle. I feel like they didn't get tested as much all weekend until they played Seattle. Wait, who else did they play? What was their road? This weekend?
They played Boston first, and then they played Minnesota. So I mean, they played some good teams. I mean, granted, not Seattle good, but I mean, they played some good teams. With Minnesota's been a team, so they have the chemistry. But I guess it was they only played them like a day behind, right? Like Minnesota, that was their first game, but where New York had the warm up, and then Boston was kind of their first debut. But
Seattle came out to a hot start here, Pat, in his first map, but New York was able to bring it all the way back. I thought Seattle was going to close this one out. We actually have a listening with the Seattle Surge. I want to tune in and hear how they sound. I'm actually very impressed with the Seattle roster because they're all so young, but they all sound really good in this listening. So let's tune in and see how they sound.
Yeah, go for it. I'm going top boat.
I'm pushing out. I'm looking at your deep left. 2-0. You have a ring there. Nice. I came up the new.
Two. Yeah, go for it. I'm going top boat.
I'm pushing out. I'm looking at your deep left. 2-0. You have a ring there.
I got him both.
Nice. Look at Clay and Hydra. Holy two. I'm not sure. Look at my deep. On the pole, Dante.
I'm holding top right.
The pole dead. Nice, that's 4. I'm sitting around now. I'm sitting mid-boat. Yeah, I'm waiting for their name.
Bottom boat Neptune, but you can pin drive stairs, okay?
Wait, mid-tank.
Put a one shot.
Top green dead.
Where'd he go?
Let's go.
They just have such good small talk, man. Like, that's really the outlier in this listening. Like, their small talking probably better than any other team I've heard in this whole tournament's listening.
I agree with you.
Like, it's not just spamming callouts. It's actual effective communication. And they're obviously piecing, which always helps, but...
Yeah, I feel like by small talking, if those of you don't know, because I know there's probably casuals in the chat that don't really know what he means, but it's not just calling out red dots and calling out where people are. You want to tell people what you're looking at. You want to tell people what's open. You want to set things up. Yeah, it's just like you want to talk where you want to have a conversation in game, right, Pat? I feel like that's the most important thing.
Space towards the
just
end
to keep the comms like clear. I mean, I think like their comms are just so concise. There's not useless info being thrown out. It's just very effective and important stuff being said, and ways that each other are just kind of working off each other. And that's the most important thing.
Right here is where Hydra won them the game. It's 226 to 233.
Right, yeah, it is.
You see Seattle, right? They're all on hill. They're all ready to go. They're all set up. They have the power positions. They have everything. Pred gets caught out here. I'm not sure if Pred just like thought Hydra didn't have an angle or didn't see Hydra, but he gets taken down. He just runs out in the middle of the open. That leaves Mac at Sib on hill. Hydra, he ends up pushing on into this hill. He gets another big one-on-one here, stays alive, picks up another two-piece. I mean, he's doing it all.
Yeah, he was just frying.
He was just frying him, and then he had his teammate backing him up.
Win this game.
Yeah, literally, and then he pushed out here and kept it going. He got pushed up, played a nice little creddy spot. I think it's Mac here who just runs in front of him. He ends up picking this up, and he stays up. He stays alive too. He ends up getting another one here on Sib. So Hydra just wins him the game here. And Pat, look at the slang again. I mean, New York is just getting completely outslayed.
I mean, even Hydra, think about it. He was negative before that streak. So and he's still negative. He brought it back to even. Yeah, like they were just getting outslayed, and I don't know. Hydra just made the game-winning play. So props to him. He just kind of took it and matters in his own hands.
Dude, he looks good, man. Hydra looks really fucking good. I feel like this game suits him too. Just the way you move around and how quick you kill. I just feel like raw talent's really gonna shine, especially when it comes to a lot of these young guns.
I know it was early, but like whenever I played that, I played like that Minnesota Rocker tournament with like Krim, Hydra, and Standy, and I could just tell off the bat, bro. Like it was so early in the game, and like the way he like moves on the map just looks so natural that he's just having his way with the people he's playing against in all modes. So he's a unit, bro. He's a unit.
So Pat, I wanted to ask you, because obviously we're seeing snipers in S&D. What do you think about snipers without smokes? Because I feel like that's like a big argument right now.
Well, I saw Octane tweeting. He doesn't think there's any correlation, and I think it's weird, right? Because with smokes being broken, you see the stuff like that Draza did. So obviously, when smokes are used that way, there isn't going to be a correlation because people are using them just to throw them at their feet and have like that one-way advantage. But without that being a thing, I think there's a massive correlation to how OP snipers can be, because like when you put a dominant sniper, right? Let's just say Dashy or Illy or anyone to just hold a cross to a bomb. Berlin's a great example, just to hold that B cross without a smoke grenade, like Dash and Illy aren't going to miss that shot, right? So, like, 9 times out of 10, that's just a free pick for them. And that's where the correlation comes in, is where crosses that, you physically can't get across when there's a good sniper watching the lane, you need a smoke grenade. So, I think it's a weird conversation because it really relies on the smoke to be balanced properly to kind of create that actual unison between the snipe and the smoke. But yeah, right now I don't necessarily think you're going to use it because players are finding more advantage doing what like that clip of Draza was doing, that the Thieves tweet out, which got a lot of attention, where he just kind of smoked his feet and used that one-way capability.
Yeah, we could tune into that clip. I could show the stream, but I don't think there's any correlation. I'm going to be honest with you, Pat. I feel like without trophies, I feel like you can nade, stun, you can throw whatever you want at these snipers. You can also whip out a sniper and counter it if you want to. No. If you have like these long lanes, I feel like they can easily be countered. I just feel like this weekend we saw a lot of snipers and we saw how they're not OP. Personally, we saw a lot of hit markers. We saw people just straight up missing or getting shot at and just getting a flinch and not being able to connect their shots. I mean, listen, I like watching snipers, but I can understand the no smoke comment. I just think there's no correlation personally. I know.
Well, I wonder if it's a bad example to use this event because up until a week ago max, people were expecting to play without snipers, right? Like it was a last minute decision. So I don't, I wonder if a lot of people were kind of under practice and they were just kind of sniping because it's a habit for them in past Call of Duties, and how much like they've really set up those like angles where they know they can get a pick or whatnot. So it'd be interesting to see how it plays out and what they decide to do. But I don't know. We'll see. And we'll see if Sledgehammer reacts and fixes the smoke grenade. 'Cause I think that's, as soon as that's done, there's not even going to be an argument, right? I think as soon as the smoke grenade's fixed, it's all just going to be allowed, right? Snipes are going to be in, the smokes are going to be in. It's super simple.
If they're fixed. I mean, are they going to get fixed, or, you know?
Who knows? Who knows? But I'm saying if it does, then I think that conversation just is ended, right? Like, no one cares if snipes or smokes are in, because smokes aren't OP. It's not a conversation. It's not a problem. And
I feel like smokes is like one of those things that's it's kind of hard to fix. I feel like from a developer standpoint, did they actually fix it?
Yeah, remember in Cold War, it was like so bad. It was so bad in the beginning. You could legit throw the smoke on your feet and actually stand in the middle of it, and you could not be seen from the outside, but you could just shoot anybody. Like the further the smoke went out, the more it faded, and so you could just see players, and it was so broken. Like, I remember there was a clip of like Spacely's team in the Challengers. They won like one of the cups.
Yeah.
And there was like a really bad clip of them doing it, and it like, if you would have looked at it from like a third person perspective, it was mind blowing, because the guy outside the smoke could not see a thing.
Yeah.
Like a thing.
And that's the argument. Before we go in on this control, I could probably pull up the tweet that everybody was saying. It was on 100 Thieves' account, right? 100 Thieves tweeted out?
Yeah, LA Thieves tweeted out.
Or LA
like
Thieves,
the Iceman Draza, and then Insight replied like, "What the fuck do you mean the Iceman?"
Yeah. So there's a lot of drama. So here's a clip for those of you who haven't seen it. So you see Draza staying alive. He's gonna throw the smoke down on his feet, makes things hectic. He's gonna see clean next to the smoke. One way him ends up picking up the kill. Big plays coming out of Dashy. This caused a lot of controversy on Twitter. I think a lot of people start getting really mad. You see Bance said Iceman. The fuck you mean Iceman? Obviously Bance is aggravated by that. A lot of tweets are going back and forth. What did Dan say? More like Batman. Fucking Dan. Where's Dan? We gotta get Dan on the show. He loves coming on the show. Then we got fucking Simp and Kenny going at it. We can show you guys a little bit what's going on here. There it goes. It started off, I'll give you guys a rundown. Simp quote tweeted that video. He said, "Well, deserved loss for doing this at a match. This is the exact reason why Smoke shouldn't be in competitive right now." Kenny then came out and said, "Laugh my ass off, same energy should be applied to snaking, but we're still not ready for that combo." Simp then said MC got roasted all year, so Draws should be too. It's also pretty weird how snaking got patched and still shit on you and Draws and everyone else in the league last year. Interesting from Mr. Simp, huh, Pat?
I mean, yeah, but like, again, I mean, he is right in the sense of like, they did get absolutely roasted for snaking, and yet they still did continue to do it, which obviously it's in the game, that's their thing. But this is just so dumb to me. It's such a dumb conversation that it's even a thing, because at the end of the day, this all just comes back to the developers. Snaking should not be a thing. There are solutions to fix snaking. Smokes should not be able to one way like this. I mean, in this game, it could have been, intended that way in development, but should not be a thing. So it's just these opportunities shouldn't arise, because the game should be, these issues should be solved so much more before the game comes, or so much earlier before the game launches. So I mean, it's dumb that we got to have this conversation. I think you tweeted it like,
it's what FaZe Zoomaa came out and said. It's what Zoomaa came out and said. He said pro players are going at it, turning against each other because these developers can't fix the fucking game. It pretty much just comes down to this. Forget about every other bullshit that's going on. At the end of the day, the game's just broken, Pat. There's broken aspects that just got to get fixed, and it's a low priority. So that's kind of where we're at, and we're kind of just, everyone's kind of just, who knows what'll happen. They're making the best out of it. They're trying to make the best out of it. The pros are trying to play a most competitive game as possible. But listen, let's get back into the match, because we did, even regardless of the issues and everything that was going on, we still had some good matches. And I want to fast forward here because Pred deserves all the hype, because right here, he just gets pushed up on Gavitu over here on offense. And keep in mind, chat, it is very difficult to win an offensive round on Gavitu. Yeah. I think it's easier to win an offense on Tuscan control, but Gavitu control, it's difficult. So
Seattle won a lot of their offensive rounds by kills. They didn't really play for the objective that heavy. They were just so prioritized on kills.
Well, it's the same thing every time. Their subs just run into the base and just go crazy. Out, they just keep pushing. And it's like, you'll have people like Mac or Lamar, like what Mac's doing right now, Lamar just constantly stopping the clock, while the subs are just kind of going rogue.
Just slaying, yeah.
Yeah, and Pred does a good job. He just does a good job pushing everybody back.
That long, right? Like, he was back there forever, it felt like, on the broadcast.
He got some weird timings when he was there. I think this was a big fight right here. This one against Hydra. I think once he got that fight, he was able to just kind of finesse and stay alive. and just kind of work these crosses here. And even Mac is just in a hill putting shots down.
Still? I feel like this is still winnable. Like, back up, get him out of spawn, and then you would just kill this guy on the tank.
No,
like,
I agree.
New York was just so far like spread and pushed out on the map that like Pred was just spawn killing one person over and over and over.
They didn't go back for him. I mean, you could see number 4, number 3, they spawn up, and you see number 4 turn, forward. Number 3 went forward. They're not doing anything together. Number 4 dies, and number 1 runs forward. You know, and then Clay runs forward. He's in the middle of the map. He gets caught out. So New York's just kind of, you're right, bro. They're just all over the place.
Yeah, they were just pushing out and then getting killed by the Seattle players who were coming off spawn to go to mid-map. So it just, I don't know, it looked sloppy, and Pred just took advantage, and Seattle played a good control round.
Yeah, and then they go back on the defense, and obviously they took care of business on the defense. Shout out to Sib. He went 24 and 12 on his control. He was absolutely fine.
Was nasty. Like, it was like a fast round. New York could not get a thing going. It was just every like push was just shut down.
Well, I mean, you can see it here in the setup. I mean, Seattle is just completely pushed out. They're pushed all the way out. They have every lane, and this is, you do not want to be here in control. I mean, you definitely got to be losing composure being in this spawn trap. Yeah, dude. Like, I feel like being in this spawn trap would just aggravate me to the fullest. Like, you could just get put in a blender and just keep dying over and over and over again. So
and they did.
Yeah, and Seattle does a good job. I mean, honestly, they're so aggressive. They do such a good job setting it up. You know, like they always get the kills, and they make use of their kills. You know, they don't have a lot of useless kills. I like that about them. I like that they're always progressing up the map. And you could honestly, Pat, you could say anything about Pred, but Mac and Sib and Lamar was doing his thing too. I feel like they can kick up at any time, you know?
Yeah, I think they have a high ceiling. For me, like, the biggest thing is just their, you know, are they gonna be able to keep this like a consistent thing all season long, right? Like, you always have those like early events where like you're like someone, you know, overperforms. I'm not saying they did, but you usually have that, and it's a question of, you know, can they remain at this level the whole entire season? So that's something to look out for, because of the showing they gave this weekend. They look nasty, right? Like the 2 young gun rookies look disgusting. Lamar's looking good. Mac's looking good. So.
Yep, props to them. And then they go into a Tuscan hard point for the map number 4, which is where Seattle ultimately closes this one out, and they end up sending New York home. I think overall it was a good showing from New York to open it up during the kickoff. Yeah. I thought they played well. They all looked good. I thought Crimstick struggled a little bit today, but I thought he was playing really well to hold the other 2 days. Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes, especially in a single elimination tournament. I mean, if a team's having a bad day, you can't really,
series,
right?
Like
a bad series. You can't really regain from it. You know, there's no regain. If you lose, you lose. Which is why, you know, it is a kickoff classic. It is single elim. It is the first event of the year, and people aren't really taking it as seriously, I feel like. But it was a fun event to watch, and props to New York. I thought they played really well all weekend. Obviously, they got, what did they place, top 4? Is that what they got?
4th, yep.
Which is
and
not
I think
bad.
It was good for them, right? Because even if players aren't taking it as serious and stuff like that, the teams that go further got the most amount of reps on land, which is always a benefit long term, right? Like, you got to think Minnesota, FaZe, Boston, LAG, these teams that got, you know, knocked out early, they only got 1 rep in, and that was it. And New York got multiple reps, got multiple maps, so I'm sure they're happy about that. They got a lot of VOD to go and use, and
more reps, the better.
Yep.
They gotta fix this shit, Pat. You seeing this shit?
They gotta fix it.
They gotta fix this.
4 times on this map, and it was always New York calling it in. Accuracy ate like
it's always Lamar. Yeah, it's always Lamar. He ate so many.
He ate 1 there, like.
But it's not the missile. It's the flak jacket, right? The flak is OP. Is that what it is?
I think they nerfed the damage on the glide bomb.
Did they?
I think that was the issue. Like.
Okay, well that's interesting. They need to up the damage on that, and they also need to nerf flak jacket a little bit. I feel like.
Yeah, a 7 kill streak or whatever the glide bomb is should kill a flat jacket player every time. Like, it shouldn't even matter.
Yeah, they also
it's also like a 5-second streak. So like, whoever called that in, I think it was Hydra in that example, he was out of the play for 5 seconds to get absolutely nothing. And it's not like he got a UAV out of it. They already knew Lamar was there.
I mean, I was saying the same thing during the watch party. I said, what the fuck is the point of even having streaks on? You know, what's the point of using a missile?
I wouldn't have called any of that in.
Yeah, like, it's just a waste of time, honestly. You can see Seattle. Listen, man, you can see these guys getting hyped. I know it's a kickoff, but these guys were going hard, man. Every team was going hard. You can see the energy from the teams that won. Definitely, people were really excited. I mean, dude, I'm happy for Seattle just because the last 2 years they have been shite, Pat. Shite.
Yeah, them and LAG been the bottom 2 both years, right? So far.
So it's cool to see Seattle like actually on a championship Sunday and not getting shit on. You know, like actually making some fucking moves.
I think this was a big tournament for Lamar too, because he got benched last year, replaced with was it Major Maniac? I think.
Major Maniac. Yep, he got benched.
So he got benched. I know he was playing in Challengers last year. He gets back in the league, and then the first event he makes the final. So I think it was a huge tournament for him and meant a lot to him. And then obviously he got a new squad around him and some young guns. So they're all looking to debut.
And then we get into the Toronto Ultra Series going up against the Los Angeles Thieves. Obviously, it's a single elimination tournament, so Seattle goes to the grand finals after beating New York. Now Ultra and LA Thieves play. Winner of this plays Seattle in the finals. So we got a boat cage hardpoint to open things up. And I'm going to be honest, I'm really impressed by LA Thieves this event, Pat. I thought with the way all these fucking people are talking these days, I thought LA Thieves was going to be shit. But these guys came in and listen, I better want to say, I think Octane is just diffy on land, bro. He's a landanimal. I think he's just a different player on land. I'm going to be honest.
I think all of them really stepped up and played well. I think they all kind of performed above expectation, I should say. Kenny looking back on form, Octane obviously just back to kind of his turret ways, because I think it was a big event for him as well, right? Because he was a part of that Seattle team these last 2 years, which were really bad, took a lot of shit, and it was all kind of focused around him and what he's capable of now. So I think him getting on this LA Thieves team and coming out and looking good was super important to him and both the LA franchise, right? Like kind of reassuring they made the right move picking him up.
Dude, I mean, just mentally for him, too. I mean, placing last for 2 years, he's probably sitting there, like, fucking losing it. So just to finally be here on a Champ Sunday, and he played well, for him to play well and be here on a Champ Sunday, it must feel good for him. It must feel good. It would definitely feel good for me if I was in a situation. So props to Octane, props to the LA Thieves guys. They had a good run. They shut Toronto down, Pat, in his boat cage. They blew him out of the fucking water. They blew him out. It wasn't even close his first map. Which is where, I thought LA Thieves was, with the way they were playing, I thought they're going to roll it. I had LA Thieves winning this map, or winning this series. Which
For me, I think it was just kind of like, Bocage is that one map where there's just not much teamwork involved, right? It's just such a mixy slaying fest, like, and you can't really, have that good coordination. I think that's obviously not going to suit Toronto's strengths, right? Like, Toronto is such a good teamwork-oriented team. And so, for me, map vetoes, I just kind of was like, I think this might have been that map that they were just like, all right, whatever. Like, if we lose it, whatever, we got our good maps coming up.
No, 100%. Listen, Toronto's S&D has been fucking phenomenal, Pat. They said on stage that they came into the event thinking their S&D was shite. But they've been playing really good in S&D all weekend.
I just think they realized, right? Like, they haven't lost a step from last year. Like, they literally look like just such a well-oiled machine that they were under practice in it coming in, and they look bad, but I think like once they get on land, they get those reps under their belt, like it starts clicking again. And they're like, wait, we were the team that like got second last year at champs, could have won, like could have won multiple events. Like, I think they realized
their feet wet. They're getting their feet wet a little bit. They're getting their feet wet in Vanguard, and they're realizing what they're all about.
Yep.
Which is a good thing. Huge shout out to Benjamin Baines. He was frying all fucking day. I mean, he's a playmaker for these guys. It's cool to see Ben. I know Ben's gone through a lot of bullshit in his career. A lot of lows and shit. And people talking shit on his name. And he's completely shut up the haters the last year and even this event. I mean, he's just been completely frying. So good plays out of him.
That's something I like about this team is individually they are all so important. Like, to me, every single player on this roster is almost in like an irreplaceable place, right? Like, they're all so important of what they individually bring to this team. And that's something I really like about this team in general is they fit so perfectly, and they're all just so important to that whole, the way that team plays.
Yep. And then listen, we get into the control, another Tuscan control once again. Here we are. It's crazy because both offenses were won right off the rip. We got two offenses back-to-back, which you don't see a lot. You won't see it a lot on Gavin 2, but I thought it was surprising to me that we saw two offenses here, one. But at the same time, it is two really good teams. I feel like they're both pretty aggressive. I feel like both teams just got pushed up on his B site and were just able to pick up kills and just kind of run down those lives. It's all about that aggression. Like, you just got to, once you get kills, you have to make use of your kills and just progress up the map. Sometimes teams, they'll get kills and they don't really move. They don't really do anything off of them. And then that's why they find themselves out slaying or just getting kills and not really doing much, I see a lot of people, Pat, I don't know if you're into football, but there's a lot of people in this chat that are going crazy over some of these playoff football games.
Yeah, I have it. I watched the game earlier. Brady should have won.
Rams game? With Brady
but
and
I got the Bills game on my TV in another room, and I hear it, but I'm not sure what's happening, so I'm assuming something nuts is happening.
Probably some fucking crazy shit. But listen, we'll get through this quick so you guys can go enjoy some football. Fucking Toronto Ultra win the first offensive round. They get pushed in the base. They start spawn killing. LA Thieves, they do the same thing right back to them. They end up coming in. They take the first offense for them as well. They're able to tie it up at 1. And listen, as soon as Toronto won that first offense, I said, hey, I think Toronto's going to win this map now. I thought they were just going to clear out, win the defense, bounce, just keep it going. But I think
pure momentum, yeah.
Yeah, just pure momentum. I think it was a good bounce back for LA Thieves to come and win this offense. And again, they did the same thing that fucking Toronto did. They just kind of pushed through the B, pushed through the front. Same thing as yesterday, Pat. They just flood front. And then somebody just gets pushed up. See number 8 pushed up. Yeah, Octane just gets pushed up, and you just play for kills. That's
what it looks like, man. You just get through the front. You bully it until it works, and then when it works, you get through. You get pushed up. You slay, and then you spawn kill, and that's it. So that's why I felt yesterday. It looks so weird for control. It's just how it's being played. Mm-hmm. And Nicky D made a good point. Maybe teams don't know how to play it yet, and they're just kind of this is what's working. But it's just so awkward, right? The teams are just bullying through the front so hard over and over until it works.
Yeah.
Hey, it's working right now.
And then after that, it just became a defense stack like it usually does. Usually it's teams fighting for this 8-point off the rip. If they don't get the 8-point, the round ends pretty quick. If they do get the 8-point, usually it fucking ends on defense anyway. But what happened this round? I don't even fucking remember what happened. They got the 8 points, so...
Well, it just became the Draza show. That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, Draza just taking
and it could have been that
basis.
after the first round, right? Like after the first round, it literally just became the Draza show. He was just winning every gunfight nonstop. I think he ended up almost double
today,
positive.
Dude. He looked good today.
Yeah,
he really did.
And he looked good all weekend, right? I think we talked about yesterday that like ending clip he had on that Gavatu, that double melee to win the round. Like,
yep.
He's just looking good in general. And yeah, I mean this map, 36 and 18 right now. So yeah, he was just frying all map.
Dude, it's the eye test, man. You just see the way Jaws is moving around the map. You could tell he's frying. You can tell. You can always tell by what. Yeah, confident. He's very confident. He's very decisive. He doesn't seem like he's double guessing anything. So good plays out of Jaws, man. He really showed out. It was LA Thieves who was able to close out this map and go up 2-1 in the series. And then this is when things get interesting. We could take a look at the scoreboard real quick from the control. Draza 38 and 20. Unbelievable plays coming out of Jaws.
That's probably the best control performance all weekend.
Yeah, that was insane. Insane play. And he was all over the map. He was everywhere. He was just running people down.
Looking at the scoreboard, this is when I knew it was over because Kleenex had that one series that he has that's a bad series. I think he was 16 and 30 double negative. Like that's his one series or one map a series. So I just knew after that it was takeover mode.
Wait, what is it? Tissue? What's the tissue thing? What do they call it? Tissue's the issue?
Tissue's an issue, yeah.
The tissue's an issue. I like that. I like that a lot. I haven't heard that before till right now. Fucking Kleenex. He's dude. And listen, this guy, even in the grand finals, we'll get there. We'll talk about it. But this guy was all over the map, bro.
He was a problem.
He is a problem. And like, there was a lot of questions about Kleenex going into this year, or was it Cold War? I don't know if it was this year or Cold War, but I heard rumors about him maybe not even being on the team, and things happening with his contract. I don't know what was going on, but I'm glad that he ended up sticking with Toronto. I'm glad he's here. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see these guys break up. I feel like they work so well as a unit. You know?
They're all important to each other on this team. So yeah, I agree with you. I think this team should stick it out. I think they're always gonna be a top 4 contender in my opinion. Just kind of fluctuate from there. But Kleenex is just a player that I don't care what the scoreboard says. Like he's gonna have some off games where he's just not winning his ones, but. The way the guy plays is just so impactful on the map. He's making his teammates' jobs a hell of a lot easier. And then when he has those maps where he just isn't losing fights, it's like, well, the other team might as well just put their controllers down and wait for it to be over.
Dude, and Pat, this got fucking crazy. So it's 243 to 225 in favor of LA Thieves. There's 18 seconds left to go. Toronto's looking up to some of this time. I don't agree with this play, Pat, by the LA Thieves. To all hit this with 13 seconds left
instead of just rotating.
Instead of just rotating and just setting up and getting in a good setup, they only need 7 points to win.
Even, right? Yeah.
If they set up,
maybe you send like one guy hits it, gets some info, maybe gets a couple kills.
Yeah.
Kind of splits the other team's push, but otherwise set up a full rotation. Yeah, they
fucked up here.
Fully committed to this. I don't know if they thought that Toronto could have won if someone did some bad math, but yeah, this was an interesting hit, especially on this hill.
Maybe it's because they just needed 7 points to win. They were like, just hit through all that we can win here, But I don't know. This was risky because they end up pushing it all, and Cammy shuts it down right away. He pops a 3-piece.
He gets a 4-piece here, doesn't he?
He gets all 4. He kills a guy on the stairs right here, too. Boom. There he goes. So all 4 is dead. Now it's just a race to the hill. Now it's a race to next.
To me, it's just that hill is the one you don't want to hit. You can make that play on almost any other hill, but why make that play on a hill you have to flood a doorway?
Yeah, dude, that was terrible. And then they've messed up again, I feel like. So listen, LA Thieves, they don't rotate. It ends up being a mixy situation at the New Hill, but then they do win the battles at the New Hill. They do win the rotational fights, and here they are again.
Who was it that got in? Someone got in and contested like at the last
we'll
second.
watch it. So this is where things happen. Ian, I was watching a game with Enable. He was saying that he doesn't think Draza should be holding this pinch over here. He thinks there's no way in hell that anybody should be spawning there or anybody can be there.
Hold on. No. Wait, go back. This was on Octane.
This is on Octane, you think?
They needed 2 seconds to win. He got picked out of the hill.
Well, he was on the front side of the hill. So what happened here? Because
but why? They just got 3 dead. Why not just hide?
So he's on the front side of the hill. Envoy. So this is where I think is the biggest problem. So you see Kenny picking up mid map here. You see Kenny number 6. He has mid map, and then look at Envoy.
Envoy got out.
He's got out of hill. He's looking at the same shit, and Jaws is looking at absolutely nothing. He's looking at the pinch.
Look, if someone was just in the hill and staying down, could they not have won? Like if Envoy stayed in right there, did they not just guarantee the win?
Yeah, they probably
I don't think
win.
anyone could have got there in 2 seconds.
They probably win. Sam can't die, but at the same time, he is pushing the front. As soon as Kenny picks up mid here, Envoy needs to stay in the hill and just pick it up. And then I also think Jaws just needs to give up the pinch and just flood, like just get in there. You know, they trolled here, bro.
Overthinking the hell
This
out
was
of
a troll. This was a troll for sure. And I don't like using the word troll, but I think this was a troll. I think LA Thieves should have won this.
I think they just overthought it. They had a guy watching pinch, 2 people watching mid, and Toronto's 3 hitting their side. Like they just overthought the hell out of that.
No,
if they just stacked the hill and literally aimed forward, they win the game.
So they end up losing it. Toronto ends up winning the map somehow. Toronto was shocked. They even seemed shocked. They couldn't believe they won the fucking match. You take a look at the scoreboard real quick. Big map coming out of Kenny. Big map from Toronto from Insight. Cammy doing his thing. Shout out to Cammy. He's back in bases doing what he's doing. Apparently something's happening in this Bills game. The Bills sold. Something's happening. Something's fucking happening here.
I hear it. They're going wild.
They're going wild over there. Then we get to the last map. It's S&D. And listen, this was very back and forth. I'm not going to lie. But I just feel like Toronto and their S&D, their teamwork is just unmatched. It's just, even Ian was even saying it in the team speak. He's like, I don't know, man. The S&D, this was the controversial play when Draza dropped the smoke on his feet. This is the first round of the game. Definitely stupid. Definitely fugazi. What are you going to fucking do? It is what it is. It went back and forth. Toronto Ultra ends up building a little bit of a lead. Super decisive on those bomb sites. They're not scared to get the bombs down. They're not scared to make plays. Kleenex was all over the map. What do you think is the difference between them and these other teams in S&D besides their teamwork, Pat? Is there anything else that catches your eye for Toronto?
I feel like they just play really well in the clutch, right? Like they're also they seem like they just make the right plays in the clutch. That's something I noticed. They kind of always are winning their 1v1s and just clutching up. So I think it's also can just be attributed to the fact that they've been a team so long. They didn't make any roster changes. They have the chemistry and they've kind of they're a well-oiled machine. They know what to do when it comes down to the wire.
Yep.
But Thieves started to bring it back there, and then I think it was Octane and Kenny. I don't remember what round it was. They were in like a 1v2 against Insight. Or maybe it was a 1v3 overall.
Oh, I remember. It was the 4-5 round.
Yeah, Octane just pushed out and like just threw the round away. I don't know. It was just another trolling moment from the Thieves.
I know exactly what round you're talking about. I like the route here from Envoy in this 4-3 round. He was able to get in behind and make some noise. Dude, I like a lot of players are starting to make plays in S&D, man. It's nice to see people hitting gaps and hitting routes. It seems like people, especially in this game, aren't afraid to make plays. At least the top players are. So I think LA Thieves, they do a good job tying it up at 4. This is when things got mixy. I think it was this round. No, was it this round? No, it wasn't this round. It was the next one after this. Envoy with a big 2-piece off the rip. He goes crazy right here. Look at this. Envoy gets a really nice 2-piece. He gets the guy off the bomb. I don't know how he gets the guy off the bomb and stays alive and ends up getting another one. Able to take down Kleenex. So good plays out of him. Really good plays out of Envoy. And then it was, it was right here. This is the play. So it's the 4-4 round. So it's to go up 5-4. Envoy makes a good play. Trades go down. It's a 2v1 situation in favor of Los Angeles Thieves.
It's literally just a hop and cover play, right?
Hop and cover. Yep, hop and cover. Octane, what was he looking at? I wonder if he auto-mantled by accident. But still, though.
So, I think Insight wins that fight. Like, he just slid out at nothing looking for nothing. And then Kenny's obviously fucked at this point. Like, his best hope is just to get on it and hope Insight doesn't check in time. But yeah, I mean, that's just a simple hop and cover play. Like, doesn't matter. You just make the guy chow whoever's on the bomb. You try and trade out the fight, win it, hop the bomb in time, which I think they had plenty of time. There was like 17 seconds on the clock when Octane made that play. So,
yeah.
I agree. It's just a weird, interesting play, but
Yeah, after that round, Toronto went back on the defense.
Round.
It definitely, yeah, bro, it's a big difference to go up 5-4 instead of going down 4-5. Like, these rounds are crucial. Like, those things can cost you. You can see the last round was a blender. Toronto was just working picks. They picked 2 guys right off the rip, and it was a 4v2 instantly. So Toronto ended up going to the grand finals to go up against the Seattle Surge. I think, listen, I didn't have Toronto Ultra in the finals. I thought FaZe and Optic and some of these other guys are going to step up a little bit more this weekend. But Toronto, man, they're showing you why you can never count them out. Honestly, they were a top 3 team last year, and I think they're proving as to why they're a top 3 team again. Really do. I think they're gonna keep. I think they're gonna be at full force the whole year. We got a Bouquet chart point to kick things off. Toronto going up against the Seattle Surge. I like that they kept the Bouquet chart point in, Pat, because these 2 teams going at it in Bouquet was pretty entertaining to watch.
You think this was Seattle's picks? I don't remember the graphics showing, but I was wondering if this was Seattle's pick as well.
Probably Seattle's pick. I feel like this is something Seattle would pick. I could be wrong. I don't know exactly how the vetoes went down. Toronto Ultra coming out with a big start.
This map. I thought they were going to smoke them. They started off big. I think they go up like 170 to 80 or something like that.
They go up a lot.
That's a commanding lead, right? And then yeah, Seattle just comes back in it. I think it started with Civ and Pred. Like, they just started slaying to the point where there was nothing Toronto could do. When a team, when the sub duo on another team, I think Civ was running a sub this map.
We could listen to it. Listen, we got a listen in here from Seattle Surge, and it's a grand final. So I'm curious to see how they're comment. Let's tune in.
Trying to get the breaks. Oh, the big kills coming through from accuracy.
Intos. No, one more Intos. One's front out.
Heard you.
Phoenix.
He's top gate. He's going in bottom front door.
He's tool side time.
Toes, one shot. Nice.
I'm getting a raid. One could be wrong. I'll let
I need a plat.
I'll lift tools for a second. I'll get tools.
I'll
I'll get ready.
I'm at front door. Could be top on me.
I have your tools. Just aim top from time.
Back door, dead.
One's top, I think, bro.
I'm looking top. You could be back window.
Top stairs, on the stairs.
Oh, he's
One
going.
shot. He's on the stairs, one shot. He ran away.
He ran up. Back on top window.
Flood the window. He's back window.
They spawn. Flip.
Also,
Tower.
Back window, guys. Back window.
Hitting front. Nice.
Camo, low tool.
I got one.
Toes dead.
Nice.
Var did a good job staying alive there.
Dude, just their comms in general, like, game 1 of a grand final, you're already down 100 points, and you're just calm, cool, and collected. No stress, no panic, just a normal day, another map.
Yep, normal day, another map, and especially from a young team, it's impressive.
Yeah.
Mac had a really good event too. Mac was frying, except for the last map of the event. He struggled. Obviously, he was like 6 and
Listen, not much you can do when Kleenex is being an issue, bro.
I mean, especially on Berlin, we'll get to it, but he was just running around, dude. He was switching lanes.
You know what it looked like? It looked like that Capsule clip where everywhere he went, he just found a guy to just shit on. Like,
dude, we're gonna see a lot of that in Vanguard because when people have that momentum and they're piecing and they're just sliding around and they're feeling themselves, we're gonna see a lot of fucking clips. Just good shots out of Dante. Yeah, just going rogue, like because you can.
Berlin too. Berlin is a map you can just finesse so well too. Like, just use those buildings as the doors, go in and out, come back, just juke people.
Yep. Dude, this was close. So Seattle bring this all the way back. I'm pretty sure Toronto kind of threw this at the end.
I mean, they had to. They were up 100, like over 100. But again, Civ and Pred just started going rogue.
Yeah, they did.
Like,
Civ especially. He had a crazy map one. He was unreal.
Double 40. So like they were getting outslayed bad to start. They go down 100. That we did go into that listening. They bring it back and then they just start piecing.
Dude, they were getting hyped as fuck too. Every time they won a map, this guy Pred was standing up, screaming and flexing and shit. I'm like, dude, these guys are fucking ready to go.
That's his signature move, bro.
Listen, let's take a. They call him Pretty Boy Pred. That's what they call him these days. I don't know who gave him the.
What they call him down under? And he brought it.
Listen, they're calling him Pretty Boy Pred on the main stage. That's what they were calling him. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. We got Mr. Sib at 46 and 33, 41 and 32 for Pred, double 40s. Other side
double 30 non-traded kills though. That's absurd.
Yeah, that is absurd.
That means 60 of their 87 kills were untraded. Like,
yeah, those guys are just going rogue. The amount of pieces that they popped in Bocage.
That's absurd.
And then we go into another Tuscan S&D once again. Another Tuscan. It was very back and forth, 4-3. You can see some snipes coming in. Wasn't able to connect on a few snipes. Dude, the sniper battles were fun to watch, man. They really are. Listen, I don't think snipers are going to make or break our viewership, but I think that adds entertainment to it. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, I just think from a pro player's perspective, they just need to fix smokes, and then it's not a problem. The people are going to snipe, and it's going to be like every other year, and it's going to be no big deal.
Toronto again doing what they do in S&D, taking care of bases.
Kleenex is also super underrated in S&D. For someone to play as fast as he does and have that many opening duels, like the fact that he's going like 12 and 6 on a map in a search, in a grand final, like that's enough. That's a super effective 12 and 6 because it's got a lot of first bloods, and it's a lot of just pressure on the map that he's just pushed up, locking an area down.
Yep. And then we can see Toronto here. They're on the offensive side. Does this go to around 11? I think this.
Does it? I don't think so.
Cammy with a big snipe. Does Toronto? Oh yeah, Toronto close it out here, bro. Cammy hits a really big snipe here. Really nice shot there to Pred up close with the sniper rifle. He's able to find one, makes it a 2v1 situation. And then after this, Toronto, they do what they do best. They link up. Yeah. You can see the two
that's
players.
Just one of those fights where you just like shake your head after you die, like it was just
this
super
is such
unlucky.
a good example though of why Toronto is so good. Look how far apart they are, Pat. As soon as it's a 2v1 situation, look at what they instantly do. Look at number 2. Look at number. They run right towards each other. Boom. Right towards each other, and then that's it. They find out where he is and trade him out. Instant trade. Boom. And listen, it looks a lot easier said than done. In game, when people are trying to micromanage a bunch of different things, like teams don't play like that. They don't. They single push and they solo chow, and it ends up hurting them. But good job by Toronto to bounce back, end up winning the control, and then we move things on over. This will start loading onto another Tuscan control. How you doing? Back in bases. One more Tuscan control pad that we just gotta get through, and we're good. But yeah, another Tuscan control. I really do think they gotta add maps into control, but as of right now, there's nothing else there. You can see Pred again doing what he does best, getting aggressive into the spawn, being annoying on a map. It's Seattle winning, trying to win this offensive round, and I'm pretty sure they do so. This was very back and forth too. There was one round too where Matt got a crazy 2-piece. I forgot where it was. It was on a defense. Right here, this was a big 2-piece, good pre-fire out of Mac. Seattle was able to bounce back and win an offense. Tie it up at 1, good plays out of them. And then it was this offense that got mixy. I think if Toronto won this offense here, Pat, they would have been able to maybe close it out quicker. I think it was Mac who got a big 2-piece with a nade or some shit. But same old typical shit, chat. I mean, same old thing, right? Same old thing. Look, Pat, Pat, let's be honest. Does this not look like the same fucking map every time you see it? They cap the 8 point.
Same engagements happen.
Yeah, they cap the 8 point. They start rotating the B. They try and get into spawn. Look, they're setting up spawn kills again. You can already see Sib already on that tank, trying to set up some kill or trying to watch the back so they get to spawn. But it's the same thing. Now Toronto's in a spawn. They got to try and figure out how to get on that B point and try and push out their spawn. And yeah, very difficult to do, but when they get the kills, they can do it. How did they do it? How the fuck did this round end? Let me see. Toronto stormed through the front, non-stop trades. Pred ended up, damn, Pred got smoked right there. What are you gonna learn? There's another landing office. But yeah, fucking Toronto was flooding through. I don't remember if they run this round or not. There's been a lot of COD this week in chat, so it's
just a lot of this map that just looks the same.
It looks the same. Yeah, it looks the same. Benjamin Baines popping pieces. Going back and forth. I remember this. Didn't this go to lives? This went to lives, I think. Let me see. Nah, this was the big 2-piece out of Mac. You see that grenade? That big 2-piece? Yeah, dude. That 2-piece grenade, that was clutch because Toronto was about to get the tick. They had two guys.
Mid alley and then it's over.
Yeah. Mac went massive right there. Big 2-piece grenade ends up getting the 3-piece. Good plays out of him to win that defensive round. And then we go back into another offense. And then this is where it comes down to lives. Toronto end up sending it to a overtime. And then obviously the defensive team is most likely going to win this map because it's really, really hard to win offense. Listen, I know there's offenses being won, chat. I get it. But it's not easy to do. It really isn't. You got to hope for the best. You got to hope that you get fucking 15 kills in a row without dying.
This right here is where I tweeted out. I said, as soon as this round happened, I was, because they were on Kleenex a lot, I was like, Pred and Sib are disgusting, but they're not Kleenex disgusting. Like I tweeted right at the very last round of this control, and then Kleenex did his thing, and then obviously we'll go into what he did on Berlin. But
I mean, listen, Kleenex and these Toronto guys, they got some chem though, and they've been doing this, now. They've had some reps. as a team. So if you give Seattle some more reps, Pat, you know, they might come back even. They'll come back. Yeah.
I think that's something to watch just all season, is to kind of see how they develop, see if they, you know, stay at this ceiling, you know, it gets higher, they get better.
Yeah.
Like you said, they develop, and we'll kind of see, because I think the overall basis on their team right now is they're the most prepared, they know the game the best, and they're obviously slaying insanely well. So you know, to see how they kind of can keep that up on a consistent level is going to be interesting.
Yep. Toronto was able to win the control. Control's a big swing mode for me, man. If you're tied up at 1 and you win that control, you're feeling good going into that final hard point. I feel like that's why we haven't seen a lot of game 5s, because Toronto, they bring that energy, they bring everything they got into that Berlin hard point, and they just put the nail in a coffin with this one, Pat. They put the nail in a coffin.
I was over for me either way, because I think they're just a better S&D team. But yeah, they didn't want to go game 5, obviously, with how they started this Berlin.
I mean, dude, it was 130-20. It was honestly a mob fest. We'll go into the listening here Toronto sounding, but listen, guys, not much to say about this map other than Toronto just moving, bro, moving and grooving.
This is what happens when one of the best teams in the world is on point. That's just all there is to it.
Let's tune into the comps.
Nice, one more front. Actually, one shot.
Didn't hit him, bro.
One shot. Really weak, really weak.
Not the same guy, by the way. One more fire.
Yo, jump. Wait, on.
Guy Kleenex, dude.
Dude, like everywhere he went.
Look at this guy. He's jumping at people.
Front fire now.
I have a fire.
He's in fire, in fire.
I have 4 streaks as well, dude.
Yeah, I've crossed
Red one's in fire.
I went for the fire tank.
They're nasty on this map. This should be any team playing them on this map should be vetoing it.
Right? I can fucking fight a fight.
Yeah, I'm sure after this performance they will.
Yeah, take a stairs, Lamar.
I'm streak
Nice,
the hill now. I streaked the hill.
Yeah,
I think I got it off. Don't know if I did. I got it off.
No, hit me
Yeah,
out.
one tower. I stunned the bar.
That's
Hour, still.
Yeah, this morning, the boss will back right.
one shot.
This morning back right.
Back.
This morning back right.
Yeah.
one more.
Nice, sip.
I'll get hour. Open
Sunday.
Bro, these guys' comms are so good, they don't even sound European.
Challenge range, Cam.
Hey, they actually don't, though. They actually don't.
Bro, aside from a couple words, like the words that they're pronouncing differently, like, bro,
They
their
sound
comms are
so
just
clear.
fluid, they don't even sound European.
And they are really calm, and they're calling out the spawns, and they're calling out what they have. I mean, you could tell these guys are it's just another day in the office for these guys. It's strictly fucking basis. These guys know what the fuck they're doing. Huge shout out to Toronto Ultra, man. It's 150-20. It's 180-30 now. This was an absolute moppage. If you guys actually go back and just watch this from start to finish, you'll just see Toronto. The kill feed was just nonstop purple, man. They were just fucking putting that gas pedal down. Mac was struggling. Pred was struggling. I mean, Mac and Pred were frying all weekend long, chat. All weekend. So don't hate.
And it's just one of those things, like when your whole team is just in a blender, bro, and it's just hard to get kills when the other team's on. Like if you look at Toronto, I think they're all like double pause almost. They're just all on, all winning their one. So it's just so hard for everybody.
26-11, 20-14, 22-9 from Insight, 22-17 from Kleenex. Everybody on Seattle getting mopped. Everybody. It was just a blender. Seattle had a rotations, winning gunfights. Their breaks are good. They were all smiles. You heard them in the interview after the fact, just talking about how, you know, they didn't really expect to come in and win, but they're happy they were able to pull through and get a nice W. Just kind of to set the tone, right? Just to set the tone for the rest of the year. I also like how they interviewed everybody and gave everybody the mic and everybody a chance to talk, because they usually don't do that. So I thought that was really cool. Pat, what did you think about the production, about the casting desk, the analyst desk? What did you think about all of it? Did you like it?
I thought it went pretty well. I think especially for like how much flack, you know, there was going into this event for the CDL and everything. I think they had a good event. I think obviously having Esports Engine back, that's a huge dub for everybody involved. The desk was good. I mean,
they did a good job.
Ali, Slacked, Ant, and even Veli all killed it on the desk. Casting was really good. Going back and forth between, you know, I keep saying Momo, Miles and Chance, and then Study and Lando all did good. But yeah, I think it was a good event. It was a dub all across the books. I think a lot of people want Merc and Maven back, and hopefully that'll pan out with contracts and stuff like that. But it was a good event for me. I liked it. I think they did well. So yeah.
Yeah, good event. I agree. I thought the desk did a great job. I thought the production was great. I think Ben Genesee messed up a few things behind stages. Any delays you saw was all Ben's fault. So we're gonna have to talk to Ben about that. I'm just busting his
And everything
balls.
that's on the flank that goes wrong is also Ben's
It's
fault
also
as well.
Ben's fault. Listen, Ben's supposed to be the producer of the flank. He's supposed to be controlling the VOD. So hopefully I'm not giving you guys a headache skipping through this VOD. But, you know, we're not trying to break down every little point of these maps because it's getting really repetitive now with these same maps. So we just want to give you guys a recap just so people who didn't get to watch on the flank get a chance to go back, watch the flank, and just kind of get a good understanding of what happened. Next time you're going to see us, probably be what we're gonna do a flank probably before the major sometime. Pat, we'll do a flank and just get a bunch of people on, get some guests. And we'll just talk about.
I imagine there'll be something that'll occur in the next week and a half before the event that
we'll
is some
see.
community drama point that we'll probably have a flank
going
about.
On.
But...
Yeah, we'll see. I think before stage 1 it'd be cool if we get like a bracket or something. Maybe give some predictions and do some stuff like that. Have some fun with it. February 4th is gonna be stage 1, so be prepared for that, guys. It's coming up in a couple of weeks.
We got a pretty good online games.
It should be. It should be.
Okay, so that's when the online matches start.
I'm pretty sure. That's where they are. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Chat, does the online start soon? It starts really soon.
It'll be interesting to see kind of how things go from online to LAN, right? Because I think a lot of people were saying Florida wasn't playing well online. Maybe that's because they were in Florida. They obviously played well at the event, so it'll be good to see kind of how that.
Same with the Thieves, right? Same with LA Thieves.
Yeah,
they were talking about it.
Yep.
Yep. So we'll see, guys. Listen, guys, we don't want to keep you guys too long. I know a lot of you guys are talking about this football game. You guys want to go watch some football. I hope you guys enjoyed the kickoff this weekend. I hope me and Pat, we did the best we could to give you guys a recap and just keep you guys updated on kind of everything that's going on with the games. Shout out to everybody who's been joining in on the watch parties throughout the weekend. I thought it was it's overtime. Oh, the Chiefs won. Oh, that shit's over. That's crazy, yeah. What are they gonna do? Football game over. So is the flank. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Go to anchor.fm/theflank to check out the audio sites we're on. Go follow @theflank on Twitter. Gert's doing a phenomenal job running socials. And as always, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Have a good fucking day, and we'll see you guys next time on another episode of The Flank. Take care. Bust your hate.